evening. We present tonight the story of a criminal lawyer's desperate gamble to defend a boy charged with murder. Risking his career, his love, even his health, he faces an even greater terror when he finds his own guilty conscience is on trial. Now on Climax, Jacob and the Angel.
And so, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution has painted Alyssa Carlton as a murderess. That she killed her husband in premeditation with an unregistered pistol from which the fingerprints had been removed, and the serial number removed, I should say. Does the sun bother you, madam?
Yes.
The court's permission? Miss Mitchell? My learned colleague and adversary, Mr. Decker, has alleged that a partial fingerprint found on this pistol to be that of Mrs. Carlton's. If the court please, Exhibit C. The card marked B is the partial print. Now, please note that 4 and only 4 points of similarity compare with the full fingerprint of Mrs. Carlton's. Yet, a minimum of 10 points is necessary between fingerprints to establish proof. Yet the prosecution bases the alleged ownership of an alleged murder weapon on only 4 points off a partial print. Thank you. Any one of us could possibly duplicate 4 points on any of our fingers, but not the necessary legal safeguard of 10.
Your Honor, defense counsel knows that our whole case exists on the estranged relationship that existed between the Carltons, of the threats of mayhem that she made to her husband. The partial print is merely offered as corroborative evidence. If a full fingerprint were offered, it could, of course, have the necessary 10 points of similarity.
That is an assumption, Mr. Decker. You want the jury to assume a full print. Then assume the pistol to be hers. Assume then she killed her husband. The law demands facts and evidence, not assumption. But even then, those 4 points could only compare with the 4 points found on Mrs. Carlton's little finger of her left hand. Her pinky. I challenge the prosecution to pull the trigger of this pistol with the pinky of his left hand.
This is a typical Edgar Holt maneuver to impugn the integrity of the...
No. Create doubt, yes. Reasonable doubt as to who fired what pistol. Find the real killer, Mr. Decker. Your Honor, if I may be excused a moment, Mr. Tamber will continue.
Your Honor, time and again in this courtroom, we have seen Mr. Holt try to confuse the issues of this trial.
No, I'm all right.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Will the defendant rise and face the jury? How does the jury find the defendant?
We find the defendant not guilty.
Jacob and the Angel. Directed by Buzz Kulik. Produced by Edgar Peterson.
Good evening, Mr. Holt.
Hello, Jen.
Congratulations, you've done it again.
Have it. Thank you. Oh, refill.
Oh, Dr. Regan to see you, sir.
Oh? Well, Paul.
Oh, hello, Edgar.
What brings you here today?
Miss Mitchell called me after the trial, and so
you
I
called Dr. Regan.
Yes.
Well, Mohammed won't come to the mountain, so You know it's been 4 months since I've examined you. You've broken 3 appointments.
Now, there's nothing wrong. A little headache now and then, nothing to get excited about.
You're not all right.
Drink?
Oh, thank you. Do you realize what your condition is? Hypertensive crisis, manifested by a rapid, thready pulse.
I know. I'm
220
headed
over...
for a nervous breakdown. I'm sorry. That report is 4 months old, and so far, no breakdown.
It could happen tomorrow. It's later than you think, counselor.
Oh, I'm fit as a fiddle.
And as tight as one. How much are you drinking these days?
Oh, now and then. Sharpens me up a bit.
It'll kill you. You heard me. Now will you let me examine you?
Look, I don't have time. Why don't I call you and make an appointment, huh, Paul?
Oh, Edgar, you're ridiculous the way you talk.
Edgar, I had to come and see you after all this months to be free again.
Paul, do you know Mrs. Carlton, Dr. Regan?
How do you do, Doctor?
I'll show you to the door, Doctor.
Good night, Miss Carlton.
Good night, Doctor.
Thank you, Chuck. Think over what I said, Edgar. You know I don't like to coddle my patients, but I don't like to bury them either.
Good night, Jim.
Well, are you pleased to see me?
You're always pleasing to see.
I thought we'd go out and do the town. I want to show you my appreciation.
You have. You paid handsomely.
Oh, now, come on. Don't be clever with poor little Liza.
Oh, but I am. Surely you know just how clever I am.
Oh, the conceit of the man. You know you should have been an actor.
I find life and death in a courtroom much more exciting.
And profitable. You know you never lost a case. Surely not all your acquittals were innocent.
It's a funny thing. I don't remember most of them. The secret of being a good attorney is to not become too familiar with the client.
Thank you. Except this one. I hope you weren't thinking of avoiding me after a job well done. I think you would have liked to meet me some other way than defending me of a murder trial.
What better way to meet? You were a lady in distress. I saved you.
You know, most men I know, they want to marry me the second or third time they're with me. I know you 3 months. I've seen you almost every day before and during the trial. But as far as you are concerned, the jury is still out. There's a doubt in your mind. I want complete vindication. I want to see it in your eyes. Guess I'm shameless. Well, say something. Well, what kind of a man are you?
Mrs. Andrada.
Good evening, Mr. Hall. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I did not know that you would work tonight after such a day.
Oh, I wouldn't miss our nightly chats for anything, Mrs. Andrada. Besides, it does my soul good to see somebody doing really clean work. Oh, how's your boy? Did he get the job?
Yes, Ricardo likes the pharmacy work. I did not before get a chance to thank you for your letter of recommendation.
Oh, it's only a letter.
But we got the job because of you, Mr. Holt. I want to show my appreciation.
Oh, what's that?
Shrimp papilla.
Shrimp what?
Oh, you taste.
Smells good.
A peasant dish, Mr. Holt. But in this country, a delicacy. It has everything. Shrimps, clams, oysters, rice, chicken wings, mushrooms.
Oh, no.
There. Oh, Mr. Holt, excuse me. This is better than that.
Well, what you say, that shrimp, whatever you call it, might have a bigger kick at that, madam.
Oh. I want my Ricardo to be lawyer just like you, Mr. Holt.
Well, that's very flattering, Mrs. Andrada.
With the fingers, Mr. Hall. Like so we eat. In my village, were no forks.
It's delicious.
Blackstone, Cardoza, Darrow, Holmes, yes?
Yes, all great men.
And Edgar Holt. Oh, yes, yes, your picture on my wall. I cut it out from the newspaper.
Really, Mrs. Andrade.
You talk nice. You take interest in a poor scrub woman and a son. You, a big lawyer.
You have a bigger heart.
You are afraid to show your heart.
What?
I mean, you are a big man, a good man. Oh, excuse me, I must clean up, but you finish, huh?
You know, darling, I don't understand Edgar. This is the first time he hasn't shown up for dinner.
Well,
I mean, without calling.
maybe he's not feeling well.
No, it's been the same ever since the Carlton trial, and, well, that was weeks ago. Well, weren't you going to tell me what Chen said?
Well, he said he thought he might be at the office. He's been working nights.
No, with the Carlton woman, huh?
No, he made a point of telling me that he wasn't with her. She's out of town.
I see. You know, darling, Holt and Decker were the two most brilliant students I had in my law class, and they've both done well. Holt, perhaps, too well.
You know, Dad, he doesn't come to the office during the day anymore. Well, I've just got to tell him about Mrs. Andrade.
Now, where are you going?
You know perfectly well where I'm going.
Well, now, look here. You tell him that... Tell him to take some pool lessons.
Miss Andrade?
No.
Oh, Irene. What's the matter? Did you forget something?
No. But you did. You had a date for dinner with my father and me tonight.
Oh, I forgot.
Well, the judge was very disappointed when you didn't show up.
Guilty, guilty.
I thought I might find you here.
Well, it's nice and quiet and peaceful tonight. The phone doesn't ring.
Oh, Edgar, I've hardly seen or talked to you since the Carlton trial. Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. Why shouldn't I be?
Edgar, if there was a case that you could take a personal interest in, not a very good case, concerning a Mexican boy on a murder charge.
Oh, one of those. Not much percentage.
I see.
What do you mean, personal interest?
Mrs. Andrade.
What about her?
Her son is being held for murder.
Ricardo Andrade.
Oh, excuse me. Do you want me to clean in here now?
In a moment. Murder. Do you know the facts?
Well, what I do know doesn't look too good. He was arrested this morning. Now, I spoke to Mrs. Andrade this afternoon, and I promised I'd speak to you. You know what she said? Mr. Holt is a big man. That means you're too big and obviously too expensive, so she wouldn't think of bothering you.
Come on.
Where?
See Mrs. Andrade, of course.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Edgar. Look, you know, you have a way of building people's hopes
You
up.
said you came here to interest me, didn't you?
Yes?
Well, I'm interested. Come on.
No te preocupes, hermana. Tú sabes que la verdad tiene una gran fuerza. Todo se arreglará. No te apures. Voy a ver quién es.
Mrs. Andrade here? Oh.
Mrs. Andrade, why didn't you tell me what happened?
Ricardo didn't do it, Mr.
Now,
Holt.
we'll get to that. I'm disappointed that you couldn't confide in me.
You're a very big man, Mr.
I'm also a man who eats paella.
Son amigos tuyos.
Very good friends.
Now, look, I'm going to call your boy the first thing in the morning, but as soon as I heard I had to come over and assure you that I'll do everything I can.
Bless you, Mr. Holt. Bless you. He's a good boy, Ricardo. He's a good boy.
I'm sure that he is, Mrs. Andrade, if he has anything of his mother in him.
¿Qué es lo que dice?
Un famoso abogado. Él ayudará a Ricardo. I will work, Mr. Holt. I will
All
pay
right,
you.
all right.
I have no money.
Now, stop that. Now, you take care of her. And you don't worry now, you understand? Now, as soon as I've seen him, I'll call you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tomorrow. Good night.
So, you're going to take the Andrade case after all, huh?
You put it in the negative, Judge.
It's not an ordinary case.
Well, I've interviewed the boy, and I have a strange notion he's innocent.
You know, Edgar, there are a lot of factors in this case that are outside of the courtroom. Take, for instance, all this hue and cry put up by the press about immigrants pouring into the city. And I mean, the police crusading against juvenile delinquency.
There's no proof of murder, no motor weapon, no witnesses.
Well, there'll be a lot of publicity connected with the case.
Publicity has nothing to do with it. I don't need it.
Well, it's going to be a long, drooling haul. And Decker can't afford to lose another case.
Well, I'll have the case thrown out at the preliminary hearing.
I think not. Hello, Edgar. Irene.
Jim.
Lovely as ever.
Oh, thank you.
Good evening,
Jimmy.
Judge.
Glad to see you. I thought it'd be nice to old friends to get together.
Just before the battle, Mother.
Oh, then it's true you're taking the Andrade case.
I am.
Edgar, we've been friends for a long time, through college, country club, and courtroom. Now, I don't mind you beating me at golf, but I do in court. I don't intend to lose the Andrade case.
I'm sorry, Jim, but I intend to keep my record intact.
Yes, like your last one, Alyssa Carlton. You know darn well she was guilty of homicide.
You didn't prove your case?
No, you mesmerized the jury. But I think this one's going to be different. I think you've overreached yourself this time.
No witnesses, only circumstances.
It's circumstances that add up to a case.
You know, Jim, there's something that you've always refused to admit, that although we use the law in our presentations, the jury responds emotionally. They're children. And I'm Papa Holt.
You know, I don't understand you. This isn't your typical case.
Boys.
It's not his typical case at all. No rich widow or gangster. There's no chance for a fat fee.
Well, for publication, I'm taking this case without fee. It'll give me a chance to prove the dignity of our profession.
Oh, come off it, Edgar. You don't anymore mean...
Edgar!
You've been out for over an hour.
Oh, I'm all right now. I'm feeling no pain, Doctor.
You belong in a hospital.
No.
Now, look, we're all friends, Edgar, and we know that something is... Oh, what the deuce. It's all out in the open. Look, why don't you go to the hospital for a couple of months?
I can't. The Andrade case.
Don't be a fool, Edgar. I'll fight you tooth and nail.
I don't expect less.
Edgar, I'm going to beat you. I'm staking everything on it.
So am I. So am I.
Joe, this is for immediate release. Because Judge Mitchell has been appointed to preside over the Andrade trial, his daughter, Miss Irene Mitchell, of the firm of Holt, Tambler, and Mitchell, has disqualified herself from actually participating in the trial. Ed. How about some food?
Oh, I'd love some coffee, Jesse.
I'll get some sandwiches, too.
I'll miss you, Irene.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be cheering from the sidelines. Now, here's everything you'll have to know about the jurors panel. I think they're fairly representative, but there may be 2 or 3 here that you'll want to question.
What do you think, Irene?
About what?
The case.
You're asking me?
How can Decker possibly get a conviction? The boy's returning home from a pharmacy, a job I got him at 11 o'clock at night. He enters Kirby Park. He sees a figure lying in the grass. He goes over to see what's wrong. And his shoes touch the man's body, and he runs out of the park in panic into a policeman's arms.
The circumstances don't prove guilt to me.
It's the first time I've ever asked myself, is a client guilty or innocent? Never mattered before. Guilty or innocent, they were all entitled to counsel, and they could have mine if they could afford it. I could discredit the policeman, lay the groundwork for prejudice.
Prejudice has nothing to do with it.
Maybe not, but it would create the issue, create precisely in the minds of the jury the prejudice,
I thought you believed in this case.
I want to win it.
Well, then win it the way you feel it, honestly.
Can I? There's an old Chinese proverb. When earthquakes come, great rocks are shattered, but the sands remain the same.
Edgar, a man needs doubt to make him better.
I am going to win this case.
Thank you.
Sorry I wasn't better company at the theater.
I'm sorry, darling, you didn't enjoy the play. Well, do come in.
I should be getting back to the office.
Oh, it's really outrageous the way I chase you. I don't see you for weeks, and then I finally do corner, and you want to run away. How can you be so nice and so rude at the same time? Come at least have one drink.
No, I'm not drinking. But I'll have one cigarette.
A little too far.
What do you mean?
Oh, this preoccupation with the Andrada case. Edgar Hall, the champion of the underdog.
You don't believe it?
Oh, my darling. This is Alyssa. You got me off for murder, but I paid you a very fat fee. I was hardly an underdog.
Wrong, Alyssa. You were an underdog. You're the kind of a woman other women resent not being, and the kind men resent not having.
And that gangster, was he an underdog too?
He was. An underdog is anyone everyone is against, for any reason.
I see. Murderers, gangsters, and that poor little Mexican boy. But tell me, how on earth is he managing to pay you the fee we did?
He's not. His mother scrubs my floors.
Oh, you are making fun of me.
No.
Oh, darling, darling, please don't go. I'm sorry if I annoyed you. But you are so strange nowadays. I liked you so much better when you were gay, glib, and so self-assured. You're so distant now. Scrub woman's son and no fee. Oh. Oh, why, I see. It's the biggest headline of them all.
Do you think that's why I took the case?
My darling, it's a natural. You don't have to want headlines. They want you.
I happen to believe that that boy is innocent.
You never told me what you thought I was.
You were acquitted.
By the jury. I want your decision. Or do you only confide in charity cases?
Why don't I come back when I feel gay and clever in the short, huh? I think that's a good idea. Good night, Alyssa.
victim was established within a half hour of his capture. The victim was 6 feet 1, 210 pounds. Ricardo Andrade was 5 feet 6, 120 pounds. It is established by the position of the body that the assailant faced his victim. Can there be any doubt that Ricardo Andrade, one half his size, would have been easily overpowered? There was blood on his shoes. No murder weapon was found, no motive established. Ricardo Andrade is guilty. Ricardo Andrade is innocent. I can't get it. You're tired. Have some coffee. The Sermon on the Mount, where's that in? Why don't we knock off until morning? I'll meet early. No, it won't come that easy. Coffee, sir? Don't coffee, sir, me, and stop padding around like a mother moth. Drink, Jesse? No. Don't you? I've got to. Just one, my eyes are killing me. You know what a drink will do? I haven't had one in weeks. Oh, one to sharpen me up. Better. Twice as good. Oh, come on, cheer up, you two. You know how doctors are. All right, the Sermon on the Mount. The root of all great religions. Compassion. I've got it licked. Jeffrey. Good people of the jury. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ask you not to be swayed by defense counsel's force of eloquence. This is a courtroom, not a theater. Remember that a vicious, senseless murder transpired, and Ricardo Andrade must answer for that crime. Thank you. Good people of the jury, you've been asked to be on guard and not be taken in by the force of my eloquence. If by force of eloquence you wish to defend me in force of truth, I admit I am eloquent. Now, I shall use the words and arguments that occur to me at the moment, for I am confident of the innocence of my client. For the past 3 weeks, you have heard the evidence against this boy, if you can call it evidence, in which dubious facts have been tailored and altered to fit a handy and convenient pipe. You are going to have to decide whether this young boy should spend the rest of his natural life in prison. Now, I would like to ask you, what is the meaning of life? To me, it is this. There's a spiritual power in the universe from which we derive our being, our consciousness. And it is this consciousness which enables us to discern good. And the purpose of life is to be good. What then is good? The proof of it lies at the root of all great religions, and is to be found supremely in the Sermon on the Mount.
which is to treat everyone as equal. To consider no one as contemptible or beneath you, but to love all men alike, and to do good to all alike. Throughout this trial, it has been inferred time and time again that a naturalized citizen is a great beauty. Mrs. Andrada, a widow, is an American citizen, her son is an American citizen, and all that connotates. Condemn this boy without positive proof of murder and questionable evidence, and you make of democracy a senile monster which eats its own children. Of it is found at the root of all great religions, and is to be found supremely in the Sermon on the Mount. This is to live in peace with all men, to consider no one as contemptible or beneath. I'm sorry to interrupt the learned counsel. I'm sure we're all familiar with the Sermon on the Mount, and there's no need to repeat yourself. I think the Sermon on the Mount can stand repeating time and time again. I demand that this case be dismissed and Ricardo Andrada set free. The learned counsel, please. I've been fighting prejudice in this court for 3 years. But I was in your house the day you told me not to take this case and other ways against this boy. That's true. This case has been a fight for justice from its beginning. I'll never take it. The food. You can't coop yourself up in this room and not see anyone. It's over a week. Judge Mitchell has been calling. He's not angry. Put that phone on a cradle in your flag. Mr. Holt, you're a stubborn man. People trying to get in touch with you. You won't see a doctor? I won't. But Mr. Holt, that's no disgrace. In fact, it does a man good to lose. Help him get a better perspective. You can't stay in this room forever. Jim, you answer the door. I know. I'm fired. Well, just the same, I hope there's a mob out there. Telegram for you, sir. Yes, Mr. Riley. Oh, there's no more, sir. Shall I read the telegram? The Bar Association requests that you attend an investigation. Give me a bottle, Tim. Oh, Mr. Holt, you've got to face up to this telegram. Why don't you call Judge Mitchell? He'll help you. All right, go ahead and come. I'll tell him I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, sir. No, not that phone. Use the other one. Yes, sir?
Hello? Oh, yes, Ken. Oh, I've been trying to get in touch with you for days. Oh, yes, he's right here. All right.
Yeah, hello, Ken. Yes. Well, of course I'll talk with him.
Mr. Holt, the judge. Mr. Holt. Mr. Holt.
Yes. What? When? The fire escape. I see. Thank you.
Well, what is it? What happened?
Edgar has just disappeared.
Dad, I check his office like this every morning. See if he's been in during the night. Nothing's changed. Everything's just as he left it. Oh, where could he go? Where could he be? The police have no clues. A man like Edgar Holt just can't disappear.
Oh, darling, haven't you noticed in this advanced day and age how many people actually disappear?
Since Jesse lost the appeal, I've been so worried. Poor Ricardo.
Have you got in contact with Lisa Carlson?
No, but Jesse did. He says that I don't think she's as interested now that some of the glitter's worn off. At any rate, she says she hasn't seen him and doesn't know where he is. At least he hasn't been coming here at night.
Edgar Holt. That's right, Edgar Holt. The great Edgar Holt, if you please. Oh, martini? Yes.
Oh, Alexa, my dear, we really must go.
Oh, don't go. The party's just starting.
Thanks for inviting us. But how could you do this to me? Oh, please don't leave. Mr. Holt will be leaving in just one moment. Please, back together.
Oh, she who worshipped at the altar of Holt. No candles to a memory or an aching heart.
You're drunk.
Sustained. This child has been wandering the face of the earth. You and I have both been wandering. Looking for... what? What are you looking for, Liza?
You're ruining my party.
Oh, I am no longer glib and self-assured and charming.
Get out, or I have you thrown out.
So, it was always the success and not the man. There.
Oh, will you play some music, please? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You got a little retard and I can't have it. I hope you'll be interested. Oh, my God. Hello? Yes, Ken. What? Where? We found Edgar in a Skid Row hotel. Where? All right. Well, don't let him out of your sight. I'm coming right over.
No, I'll take it. Well, look, I'll call you.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
No telling what condition he'll be in.
No, I'm coming with you.
Oh, all right.
take you home, Mr. Holt.
Leave me alone.
We only want to help you.
Decker beat me.
You beat yourself.
Of all the cases I've handled, the one case I wanted to win, I couldn't. Look, son, do you think you can solve anything on a wet conscience? Oh, leave me alone. Go on, get out. Come on.
Leave me alone with him, will you?
I'll wait for you downstairs.
I'm not leaving without you, Mr. Holt.
Good old gent. I'll wait for the judge. What do you see in me, Irene? I'm a sham, a trickster.
I'm not sorry for you the least bit. I'm angry because you're throwing your life away.
Oh.
You're not crippled or saddled with an incurable disease. You've had a jolt to your conceit. You gotta listen to me. You're suffering from a fractured ego. One defeat and you quit on yourself.
So the Liberty Bell has a crack and the Rock of Gibraltar is made of chalk.
Oh, and Edgar Holt is no Superman. Well, I've known that for some time.
All right, then here it is, my kingdom for a bottle.
Oh, stop this play acting. You're a stubborn, exasperating man. Stop thinking of yourself all the time. Think of others. Of one other, Mrs. Andrade.
Andrade.
She asked for you.
I could have beat that guy. I could have beat that girl had I used the prejudice angle against that boy.
Is that what all this comes to? Just a brooding, petty self-defeat? And that's not what Mrs. Andrade would have wanted.
You want her, boy?
Oh, Edgar, you've had a concept of justice, blindfolded and packaged for you to use as you saw fit. And you've got to realize you have to use it with respect and honesty and humility. Edgar, your problem is as old as the history of mankind. Just wrestling with your conscience. The way Jacob wrestled with the angel. I care, Edgar. I don't know why I
don't know why you should be. I don't deserve anything but Lisa Carlton.
Right now, I think so, too.
Don't just stand there like my conscience. Say it. I let you down. I let your son down. I've let a lot of people down. A lot of people. And a lot of things.
Don't matter what you let down, Mr. Holt. What does matter, you let yourself down.
Oh, go on, say it.
I deserve it. I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself here.
Yes.
Get angry, Mrs. Andrade. Get angry.
I am not angry.
Blam!
Better anger than self-pity.
I'm not licked. I'm not licked. I'm not licked. Oh, Mrs. Andrade. Don't ever hate me. Don't ever hate me. Oh, your boy's going to be free. And not only your boy.
Edgar, do you realize what it is you're proposing to do?
Absolutely. I've been fighting something inside, a kind of a sickness, I guess, and I think I've found out what it is. So I'm writing to the Bar Association asking them to disbar me. I was ill and incompetent and didn't draw one rational breath during Ricardo Andrade's trial and therefore could not properly defend him, thus depriving him of his constitutional right to adequate counsel. He is innocent and in prison today as a result of my unsound, whiskey-soaked brain. Signed, Lydia Holt.
Edgar, there must be another way of solving the problem without giving up your career.
Look, I've got to live with myself. I'm not only giving Ricardo a chance for a new trial, I'm giving myself one.
What do you plan to do?
Oh. Look around, ask some questions, find some answers, I hope.
May I help you?